Farwell Canyon is about an hour and a half drive from here, out west in the Chilcotin. It's on the Chilcotin River. For me, because I don't have transportation, I have to find some way to get the money for somebody to drive me there. A lot of preparation goes into going to Farwell Canyon. About this time I started doing my gardening so that I get the heavy duty lifting, get my body strengthened, prepared to do the heavy duty work of cutting salmon. This is my traditional space for cutting salmon. This is Chilcotin River. My people went there. The Chilcotin people go there, and the carrier. So the three nations utilize that fishing spot. At one time, up behind the Hoodoos was big sand plateau, and that's where all three nations would come together, and they would meet, and they would talk about marriages. They talk about divorce, death, birth. They would decide on who's going to go hunting in which areas at which time, who's going to go hunting in different areas to fish. So it was a place for all nations to meet together to decide on how we live together. Unfortunately, in this day and age, that doesn't happen anymore. Our people still all go out there to fish. What I really like when I'm down there fishing is listening to the people. Like they fish on both sides of the river, and Edo, for instance, will be on this side of the river fishing, and he'd go like this and he'd catch 2 salmon in a fish in a net. Oh! And the people across on the other fishing spot would be looking at him. Oh man, Edo, you're a strong man, you got 2 in 1. Let's work for you, do it again. Next time get 3. And they'd laugh and they'd talk, and they had their ways of sharing the fishing spots, because there's only so many fishing spots, and sometimes they go out there in hundreds to fish. So you have to be able to work together, to understand each other. You don't have to like each other, just be able to work with each other in order to decide who's going to go fishing where next, on which spot. When I'm looking from the north and I see the river coming down at me, what I see on the left-hand side is, there's a dip net fishing spot over there. Then there's a ledge about just enough for your feet to come along. And you have to walk along that ledge from this promontory of rocks, go along the ledge, and then that promontory of rocks, because that's the only place you can fish from. And once you get to the fishing spot, there's little spots where you catch the fish and you throw them in the pit, and you keep fishing until you're done. Then you come back across the ledge. Once you're back on this side of that ledge, then there's what I call resting eddies. And you will see it in some of the footage of the river, where it looks like it comes in like so, and then again like so. On the right-hand side of the river, that's where the salmon go. They come up the river, and they go in those spots, and they swim around, and they come up for air, and they swim around, and they rest, because coming through those rapids in the river is really hard work, so they need spots to rest. And when I was taking that video, my brain went to, well, you've shown two fishing spots, and you've shown it from the north. Now you need to look at it from the south. So I went across the river, across the bridge, and took a video of the river going south. And I looked on the left-hand side of the river, and I'm kind of like, oh wow, there's one, there's two, there's 3 fishing spots. And oh, look at the trail, you can see the trail going to those fishing spots. And then underneath the bridge, there's a trail that goes up for you to go down. Then there's a ladder there. I'd love to take you there and make you go down that. It's pretty hectic for the fishermen because then they got to carry the sacks of salmon up. So I saw those fishing spots, and then I'm kind of like, oh, right, Helen, on the right side over here. Look, that's the only still net fishing spot over there. And there's a dip net fishing spot down here. To make you understand what I'm saying about the dip net and the still net, the dip net is, the nets are 6, 7, 8 feet long, really long, because you're standing on a ledge and the river's quite down. You're holding on to the net, dip net. You put the net in and scoop out. Put the net in and scoop out. And how you know that there's a salmon in there is you get in and all of a sudden you'll feel a bump like that. And so that's when the fishermen are, and swing it back, and the pit is right behind. They flip it and then they go back and continue dipping. The still net, on the other hand, is you put the net in and you sit there and you hold it. And you hold it. You feel that bump, and then you pull it out and throw it behind you. So those are just the 2 things about dip net and still net and fishing spots along the river. So in all, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dip net spots and 1 still net spot. So you can understand how getting along with each other, the fishermen have to be able to decide who's going to fish when. They've got to decide, oh, this person only wants to catch 20. I want 100, so you can go first. Then you also have to consider the light, because at one point they never went during this time of day because the salmon could see the net going in and they'd swim around the nets. It doesn't happen like that anymore. They go down at any time they feel like.